now that we've finished all of our prep, it's time to start painting these kitchen cabinets. And I'm going bold. Here goes nothing. Welcome back. I'm excited. It is paint day, finally. Well, primer day and paint day. We have spent a couple days now just really getting these cabinets ready for paint. They're old. They've been through a lot. They've seen a lot of different coats of paint, so we've really had to work on it. We've added trim, but we're there. I just finished degreasing. I need to tape off a couple little spots, but we're there. And I am so excited because I feel like this is gonna be the first big transformation in this space. Yes, I'm going dark. If you haven't heard, we're doing green. I have it narrowed down to 2 colors now. It's probably gonna be like ripping off a Band-Aid because I think I've stared at them long enough and I think either of them are gonna be great. One's a little bit lighter, one's a little bit darker. It's a small space, but I've seen them in different lights, and I've seen how they work with the rest of like the contact papers we picked, the flooring that we picked, the hardware that we picked. They both work. It's just a question of which, and I feel like it's just gonna be like ripping off a Band-Aid. But right now we need to focus on the primer, and I'm doing a separate primer because these cabinets are really old and have been through some things, and they're not a great quality of wood. I would love to have stained cabinets, but this wood is not good. It is painting wood. It is not staining wood. So that's why it's taken so long to prep them, and that's why I'm gonna do a couple coats of primer and do some sanding in between because I want this to look really finished and really quality. And in order to do that with the actual pieces of cabinetry that I have right now that are in the apartment, which I can't take out because I rent, I can paint, but I can't destroy anything. That means I need to do a lot of prep on them. So I am doing a separate primer, but I wanted to do this separately and take the time and do it right so that it looks right. I don't want to go through all this effort and it to look really streaky and have a lot of bumps and stuff like that. I just want to do it right. So today we are priming. I'm excited. I'm just gonna jump right in because honestly, it's gonna take some time to dry and I wanna do a couple coats, and I haven't even started on the doors yet, so we gotta get to that today too. So let's go. So the first thing we have to do to finish prep is tape off a couple of these edges. And if you missed the first video in this project, I'll link it below in the description, but I'll be replacing all of my countertops and backsplashes later on in this makeover, which is why I'm not taping any of those things off. Let's get priming. You never really notice how many nooks and crannies all of these cabinets have until you're trying to do all of the edge painting. Ugh. felt like it took an eternity. There are a million little nooks and crannies in this kitchen, but we got the first coat of primer done. I am going to Let this dry. I put it on thick in a lot of areas because I really want to sand it down and get smoother surfaces. I'm going to do at least one more coat of primer, obviously. But while I'm waiting for this to dry and before I sand it, I'm going to go ahead and move to the doors. And we're just going to keep flipping back and forth and make the best use of our time. So let's spread out all these doors. I wish I could spray them. I just don't have the space. And I don't really have any outdoor space either to do it. So I'm going to have to roll them, which is going to take up more room because they all need to lay flat. But it is what it is. So let's kind of reconfigure the dining room and we can lay out these doors. Before I start priming these doors, they need a lot of work. Not only do I need to use a degreaser to get these clean, but there's also years and years worth of paint just caked on in spots. So I'm really gonna have to sand these down quite a bit. I'm also changing the design of the hardware from a handle to a knob on most of the cabinet doors. So I'm filling in all of the previous screw holes with a plastic wood putty. Before I start my second coat of primer on the cabinets, I just want to go around and double check all those nail holes that I may have missed and fill them with either a caulk or a putty. Give it a light sanding and it's time for round 2. Another downside of having to do the doors flat is obviously you can only do one side at a time. So if you're doing 2 coats of primer and 2 or 3 coats of paint on both sides of the door, that suddenly becomes a lot of different rounds of painting. Not to mention waiting for it to dry in between each coat. Patience is required. After going back and forth and racking my brain for like over a week now, I've made a decision. Yes, I've made a decision. I just need to do it. You know what? I'm going with Foxhall Green by Sherwin-Williams. This was one of my original ones that I really, really loved, and I kind of started switching colors around, and this is one of the ones that stuck around, and I feel like because of that, in my gut, this is the one. It looks good in all different types of lighting. The other one that I was really close to going with too is actually in the exact same color grouping as this. It's just like a shade darker. And I thought it maybe made the white pop a little bit, but I think this one's a little bit more muted, but elegant. I think I go for the more muted one rather than the green that's just a shade darker and a little bit punchier, especially because the shade darker one, sometimes in softer lighting, it could look really, really like black. Foxhall Green. I'm just gonna do it. We are ready with the bodies of the cabinets. They are ready to go. They can get paint. I have a little bit more work to do primer-wise on some of the doors. But it's time for me to paint. I am so ready to get some color up in here. I'm really excited. So I'm gonna go to the paint store right now and we're gonna paint. And away we go. It is getting pretty late in the the day. I picked up the paint. Got Foxhole Green. I couldn't decide if I wanted to do... I love the look of matte cabinets. I ended up going for a satin instead, just because I think having a little bit of a shine will help reflect the light, especially in a dark area. So I played it safe there. I should really clean up, and then I can start first thing in the morning. But I'm not going to do that. I'm so excited to get this color up. I feel like I've been waiting so long, especially this week where everything's been taking so long prep-wise. Like, I just want to see it. So, I'm going to stay up a little bit late and get a first coat of this on tonight. And then especially because I can get a second coat first thing in the morning, and then I can really see it come together. But I'm just, like, super excited. So I am going to go ahead and get the first coat done on the actual body of the cabinets. I still have some work to do on the doors, but woo! I'm excited. Here goes nothing. I am already so obsessed with this color. It looks so good. First coat done. I love it. I kind of had a slight panic attack in the middle of it because it goes on as more of an avocado-y color. It dries darker, but it kind of goes on more of as an avocado, and the tile has been yellowing for years. So then I had this like avocado and this yellow tile. It started looking real 70s real fast. And I was like, oh no, what I did. I had this like, I had this like panic attack, but it's drying darker. And now that everything's done, I mean, obviously it's really, it's definitely a first coat, but I like it. It feels completely different in here. I can't wait to see the finished product. I'm really excited, but I'm exhausted. I did so much today, and it is like almost 9 o'clock now. So I am gonna clean up here, take a shower, eat, and I'll see you in the morning. Bye, guys. Keep thinking about the laundry list of things before I actually can get some semblance of a kitchen back. I hate being without a kitchen, but we're getting there. I've definitely been having a trust the process kind of vibe to me. Last night I was like, it's dark, and then I woke up today and I was like, I definitely like the color, but it's still at a point where I'm like, well, one, it's a first coat, so it looks really streaky and it's not the true color, so get past that. And two, I still have all of my old stuff in here. The yellowing tile, the yellowing peel and stick tile, the old contact paper that's like, has like a grayish undertone. None of it works together, and I think that's the thing that's like freaking me out right now. I have a plan, I know my design, this is just the first step, so I just need to trust the process. I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, I really like the color, and then I was like stepping back and looking in, and I was like, do I like this? But I do. I do. I was walking in here this morning, and for some reason, it doesn't feel cramped. It actually feels like wider for some reason. I don't know, maybe because everything was white, everything just kind of blended together. And now I have like actual like barriers, like walls around me, but definitely because it all is elongated and it all like points up, it makes your attention go directly to the skylight. It like pushes your eye upward, which I love because we're going to do some work on the skylight, do some different stuff up there too. And that's kind of what I wanted. I was just really, really afraid I was going to be like, oh man, I'm painting this dark space darker. It's going to feel extra cramped. It doesn't. And true, I don't have the doors yet, and the doors are going to be green on green, so maybe that'll make it feel a little bit more cramped. But as of right now, you know, I don't feel that way. So I'm counting that as a positive. We're going to keep going. I need to obviously get a second coat. I really need to focus on the doors right now. I have so much work to do on the doors. If I'm going to do the work, I want this to look good. I want it to look right, so I'm putting the effort now so that it looks better in the end. We have so much to do today, and I really, really, really want to get my kitchen back to some semblance of useful. So, here's to another long day. Update. I primed all of the fronts of the cabinet doors. All of the cabinets are primed, completely ready to go. I just did a light coat of sanding on all of this, and I'm gonna go ahead and do a second coat now, which should take me another couple hours, so wish me luck. I also have to, in this round, move the fridge out so that I can get behind all of there. Not just gonna end right there. I'm not gonna be lazy and just paint around it. So I gotta move it. All right, let's do it. The second coat of paint is always way more satisfying than the first. And I can actually start to see the vision taking shape. Now that all the preparation and priming is done on the doors, we can finally start painting them. While I let that first round of doors dry, I'm going to go ahead and do some final touches on the bodies of the cabinets. I'm going to give a brief little update here. The cabinets, the actual bodies, are done. I've done a second coat behind the fridge too. They are drying. I kind of did a third coat on a lot of it, not fully, but there were just a couple streaky spots, especially like on the trim. So I got those spots. That's fully drying. That's done. All of my doors, I am on the first coat on the back of these. These ones, all the backs are done here. So once these are dry, I'll flip them out. I'll do another coat on the back here. And then I just have to do the fronts of the doors. And I'm done. We're making progress. We're getting there. The end is in sight. It is so close. And I love this color. It is, it's turning out so well. So, almost there. Now that this part is done and we're just focused on doors, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the tape and the plastic from here and just start trying to clean up as much as possible so that when the doors are ready, we can just go ahead and throw them up and everything can just go boom, 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 boom once we finish the painting on the doors. So let's get this stuff off. now that the bodies of these cabinets are done, we can finally start painting the fronts of these doors. It is cold and rainy out, and it is like zapping my energy, but we're like there. I finished the second coat on the first round of doors, so I really just have to do the fronts of the next round, and that's it. And then I'll be done with all the painting. So that'll easily get done today. I wanted to let those first round of doors really dry because I didn't want to mess up any of the fronts. So I let them dry overnight, and I'll probably do the same thing for the second round just because obviously the fronts of the doors are going to be the main things that you see, so I want those to be perfect. And I think if I really let those all cure overnight again tonight, then I can really put everything back together tomorrow. And the first big chunk, I say the first project of the kitchen makeover will be done, which is true, but like the painting was a massive undertaking. I would say it was at least like 40% of the entire makeover. All the other projects are, I mean, they'll be big transformations, but they're not going to be as labor intensive. So this was definitely the most labor intensive part of the process. I'm really glad I took the time to prep everything really well, and I'm taking the time to sand things in between primings and paintings and stuff because it's really paying off and it's looking a lot more clean. They're the exact same cabinets, but because the old coats of paints were so just like caked on there and there were big chunks of like drips and stuff, it always just looks so sloppy. And now like I'm like, you know, it's the exact same cabinet, but it looks finished. Now I just gotta find the energy to do it. All right, let's do it. Ugh. Finally, that day, we have finished all of the doors. They've had time to dry, they've had time to cure. Everything feels really smooth. It's time to hang these doors. All the hardware is finally in, and I'm just ready to not have all of my cabinets, everything inside on full display, and really see, you know, with the hardware and all the doors up, how this kitchen makeover is really starting to turn out. So let's get them up. And now that all the hardware's installed, I can finally put this kitchen back together again. And the first project of this kitchen makeover is done. And this is only the first project in this whole makeover. We have a ton more to do in here, from the backsplash, the counters, the floor, the hood. We have so many things still to do in here, but the amount of change that has happened just in this one project is crazy, and I'm loving the direction it's going. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We have so many more projects coming up, not only in the kitchen, but around the entire apartment. Hope you'll join us. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.